Cut. I'm Deanna Miller, and I'm interviewing Rose Martha Miller, and we're at her house, and this is sponsored by the Chastain High School, and the date is December 30th, 1989. Alright. Thinking back when you were younger, what can you remember about chores you did as a woman?
As a woman?
Yeah.
That meant as I got older.
Yeah.
Feed the chickens and gather the eggs.
Is
that before I was married or after I was married?
As a child, before you were married. Is that... You said nothing more?
Well, I used to help Mother in the house. And
Do you remember anything specific about it?
well, in those days, well, we didn't have power, and we had to carry our water. Is that on now?
You can just go on. Don't worry.
Well, I didn't have a sink in the house. I had to wash the dishes in the dishpan and rinse them and dump the water out.
How far did you have to go for water?
Well, the well was close to the house. Exactly how far.
Do you remember anything else?
Well, what else should I tell you?
Well, you could describe more chores.
Well, now just think a minute, like when you was 15, 16, or 14, what do you have to do?
I don't do very much.
Well, see, my parents had chickens, and of course had to get eggs and clean the eggs and get them ready to sell. We lived on a farm, had to chase the cows to the pasture, go get them at night.
The boys
Well, yeah, the boys. Well, we didn't send one kid after the cows. There was a couple of kids went or something.
What can you remember about inside chores, inside the house chores?
Didn't have electric vacuum, so we had to. Well, we used to let newspaper scatter them around on the carpet so it wouldn't stir up the dust, you know. So the wet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The wet paper would catch the dust. It was kind of fun to see that paper get all dirty.
Okay. What other chores did you do inside the house, like, to help you around?
Well, I didn't have a wash machine. Had to rub the clothes on the washboard and rinse them in two tubs. We did have a wringer.
How about dusting?
Well, see, this is in the olden days before we had electricity out on the farm. Does that sound interesting?
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
And what else? What period now you want?
Same period. When you were like married, when you had your children, how did they help with the chores?
Well, first they have to grow up a little bit.
What did you do with them while you had to do chores when they were younger?
I didn't tell you. But we had a great big crack like this, you know. You could put a kid in there. And stand in there, and stand in that crack and watch you do the chores. You know, when it's nice weather, and sit out in the yard. Or
How big was it?
well, a big crack, big round like this. You've seen those big cracks someplace, haven't you? Well, I don't have one right now. But someday you'll see one. You'll know what I mean. Yeah. Well, that's what Grandma meant, the big crack.
Okay.
Then what?
What did the daily chores consist of? Like
What?
your daily chores? Like you get up in the morning. Like what was the daily routine?
Well, first you go out to the what do you call it?
I don't know.
Well, when you can the toilet.
Oh, okay.
First you go to the toilet,
Uh-huh.
outdoor toilet.
It's outdoors.
Well, yeah, I didn't have electricity, didn't have water, water pressure or anything to have all this. I didn't get the water pressure or anything when Irma and Jim were little. That's when we got water. They had pressure, got the bathtub. Bathroom.
Uh-huh. And then what did you do?
Well, then we enjoyed that. And then what? Of course, then I had some more kids.
What about breakfast?
Our breakfast. Of course, I always had to have breakfast. I could always remember having cornflakes. Cornflakes with milk. And sometimes we'd have strawberries. And then we had a cream separator. We didn't sell milk. And we had to separate it. You heard separators.
Yeah.
And the cream comes out of one spout and skim milk out of the other.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would use some of that cream and put it on our strawberries, which was just good.
Did you had to make all the breakfast stuff?
I like that, but one day I bought some cream, and strawberries, and I was going to make it taste, and it didn't taste like it used to.
No.
Like that homemade cream stuff didn't taste like it used to. Well, that's what I thought, but maybe it did.
And what about, and then after breakfast, what would you guys do?
Well, then we had to go feed the chickens or take care of the breakfast stuff.
How would you feed the chickens?
I'd go to the granary with a pail and get some food, some grain, to feed the chickens. Of course, you don't get eggs early in the morning. You have to wait. And you used to gather the eggs at noon and at 4 o'clock.
And then what did you do at nighttime?
Well, then, around 4 o'clock, we always had to start peeling the potatoes. Peel a lot of potatoes so you had something to warm up the next day, or for supper. For the next meal, for another meal. Or have the meat in the oven, or chicken.
Did you use store-bought supplies, or did you make them yourself, like for chores, like for what did you use for dusting? Like, did you buy anything from the store? Did you make something for yourself to clean it? Or?
Let's see. Always put some kind of oil on that olden days. We're talking about the olden days.
Yeah. Yep.
Some kind of cedar bark oil or something. Can't remember the name of it.
Well, you'd put that on a cloth.
Yeah. Kind of catch the dust.
Can you?
Huh?
Oh, go on. What are you gonna say?
What was I going to say?
Can you describe dishwashing? How do you wash dishes?
Well, before we had power, we'd wash the dishes. You have to have 2 pans, one for washing and one for rinsing. So, rinse. Does that sound right?
Mhm.
Soap and rinsing?
Yep. How long would it take?
Well, there's quite a few of us. It took quite a while to do the dishes. Excuse me. Never mind.
What about cleaning the lamps?
That was interesting. Very interesting.
How was it done?
You take a newspaper and crumble it all up soft. And you blow your breath in the chimneys. Like that, you know. And take this newspaper and it makes it so clean, you'd be surprised. You know, like when you take a paper towel now, when you clean windows or something.
Mm-hmm.
How that does. Well, this we used to take newspaper. When you crumble it, it gets real soft. And that's what we use to shine the lamp chimney. You know, the lamp. Well, before we do that, when we take the top off, fill it with kerosene. Kerosene lamp. That was our lights.
Now, in general, what do you remember about cleaning inside the house?
Well, it seemed like every Wednesday and Saturday we had linoleum, you know, on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
We had to clean that with a mop, a pail of soapy water, and clean the floors with a mop.
Okay.
And then, of course, I do the dusting twice a week. See, it's funny now when I do. You know, when I first didn't do that, dusting like that. But now I just let the dusting go. It needs dusting, but I'm not going to do it, maybe. Till next week. Till after New Year. And I'll get a new start in the new year.
What about the carpet? How'd you clean that?
Well, that's in the beginning there where we put the wet newspaper on.
Okay.
That was a carpet. Did you get that?
You just had newspaper laid down on your carpet? Like,
No, you tear the newspaper up wet.
uh-huh.
And you wet it. We didn't have these kind of carpets. It was kind of a smooth, thinner carpet that you had to sweep with a broom before you had electric. You know, you had to have electric to run a vacuum.
Yeah.
But they get those push vacuums, you know.
Mm-hmm. You had them?
Yeah, I had them. But they didn't work as good as a good old broom.
How about the laundry? What can you remember about that?
Well, that's another story. You used to heat the water in the kitchen, on the kitchen stove, and then get a couple tubs ready on the stand. Had 2 tubs and a wringer in between.
Mm-hmm.
And had to scrub them on the board.
Yeah.
Put them through this and put them in the wringer. Run them through into the rinse water. Sometimes you had to have another rinse water, get the soap out.
Yeah.
And we really had to work at it.
I heard that.
Yeah. And hang them on a line. We didn't have a dryer, of course. We didn't have electricity. Well, this is before we had electric. Or did you want to know after?
Before.
Before.
Yep.
Well, anyway. Had to hang them outdoors. Sometimes we'd bring them in when they were frozen in the wintertime. But they would smell so nice with that fresh air from the outside.
Yeah.
You know now when you take the clothes outside and dry them, they smell different. They smell nice, don't they?
Yeah.
And what? Or iron.
Yeah.
We had irons, old-fashioned irons on the stove. Get them hot. The irons out. Put them back on the stove. Take another one. We'd have 3 irons.
Mm-hmm.
They had a thing on it, you could, I don't know how you call it, release the handle, and put it on another one. The same handle you use for each iron.
Can you describe it more?
That's what we did. Seemed like that was the hardest job. I sure wish they had wash and wear things in the olden days, because a lot of stuff was hard to iron. We had to dampen them, you know, put them in the clothes basket. Sometimes we had a whole bushel basket full of dampened clothes rolled up.
Mm-hmm. Everything had to be ironed?
Shirts and everything. Just had to be ironed. Nothing was perma-press in those days. Is that thing on?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's alright.
Well, I've been telling you, huh?
Yeah, that's good. That's did the neighborhood help with chores, like the neighbors and?
Oh yeah. Especially during thrashing time, they'd help each other thrash, or you know what I mean by thrashing.
The corn, the corn stalks.
Yeah, they do the corn, well, oats and wheat and all that kind of stuff. They thrashed. The thrash machine would come and blow the straw in a pile.
Did you do? The women did that. The girls.
The men and the women had to cook dinner for all these men.
Mm-hmm. How did you cook dinner for them? How did you cook with no electricity?
Well, you had to bake some pies. You had to set the table for at least 12 men. 10, 12 men. Oh, I should make a glass of Jell-O. See, that dish right there, that used to be on mine. We used to make Jell-O. Yeah. Have that full of for the thrashers. Well, ours cut the pie and put it on a pie plate. Put a piece by every plate and set the table. Of course, then we had to wash all those dishes. They had an old tub. No, just a wash tub that they put water in the sunshine to get ready for the men to clean up before they eat.
Mm-hmm.
And put the towels around. Sometimes they would put it by a tree or something. Hang the towels in the tree, and the men get scrubbed up to come in and eat. How was that?
That was good. Can you describe the ironing more? How?
Well, listen, I told you about dampening everything, put them in the basket.
Yeah. Like, where would you, like...
Well, if you had a wood stove, you had to make a good flare to get these irons hot on the stove.
What was the iron like? Can you describe that?
Well, these my ma had were kind of a oval shaped like that. Then they had this automatic handle that goes in there and catches it. Catches the iron, you take it off, iron.
Mm-hmm.
And what else? Well, the iron cooled off a little bit, you go take that one, put it on the stove, and get another one. See, this is on a wood stove, where you have to heat them. And once in a while you had to put wood in the stove, keep the stove going to get the iron hot, keep the iron hot. Now that's pretty good description of that.
What is your opinion, like, on the amount of chores you had as a woman? Do you think you had too much, or did you feel it was equal between the men and women, or?
I don't think it bothered me too much because I had my two brothers and they were always doing something around for chores and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't bother me too much.
What about the beds? Did they need to be changed and aired, and how did you do that?
Oh gosh. During house cleaning time, they used to take the mattresses outdoors and air them out and clean that room all good. Yeah, and then that's when we cleaned house. Took the mattresses outdoors and washed all that bedding. Oh well, that was it.
Can you describe taking care of the chickens more?
You know what did I tell you?
Take a pail, put feed in it, and carry it out there. But then, like,
Feed them.
yeah.
Take out the eggs. Well, when we went in that pen, had to be sure that the gate was shut behind us, or the chickens would get out, and then we had to run after them and get them back in there. And sometimes when the nests where they laid their eggs, I'd clean all that old straw out, put it on the floor, and put new straw in their nest. And the chickens just love that new straw. They get in there and lay an egg. Sometimes they should lay more than one. But they never did. And the goodest, laid one a day. Well, you never took care of chickens, did you?
Nope, never had no chickens. No animals, except dogs.
Well, the best part is when you get little baby chickens. We used to have a brooder house. Let's see, on the farm picture, where's the farm pictures? Guess I don't have any around. There might be one out there. There's a brooder house. They call it the brooder house. And there's a automatic thing in there. It keeps warm. You get these little baby chickens, and they get under this hood, and they lay under this hood where they're warm, where the heat is. And then we had quart cans. You had to put water in the quart cans and put a thing on there and turn it over quick so that just enough water comes out for those little chickens to drink in this here water hopper. Now this is all going on in that thing.
Yeah, yup. Oh. It's all
Makes me
going on.
laugh to think my voice is going to be someplace else.
Only my teacher will hear it. When you were married, how did your children help you with the chores? Or did you just set them in the crockery?
Well, that's I always put the littlest one in the crock, so it won't get hurt or something. What that do? Oh, lots of times, so we didn't have power to pump the water. We had to pump water by hand, too, in the trough for the cows. Pump and pump. You know what I mean by pumping water?
Yeah.
Let's see. What was I going to say?
About the children?
About my children?
Yeah.
Well, of course, when they were growing up, they always wanted to help. So eventually, they just got broke in to help.
Yeah.
Because they learned it right from the beginning.
Describe the house during spring cleaning.
What?
Can you describe the house during spring cleaning?
Oh, that's when we used to do the beds and take them out, the mattresses, and wash all the bedding. Didn't wash always the same day. We'd strip the beds and wash them the day before or the day after. Eventually, when we got the rooms all clean, we had everything else clean.
What did you use for the ironing? Did you put any stuff on the shirts? Like lard or anything?
Well, let's see. Starch? Well, we always made starch. I'd get some boiling water, put the starch in some cold water first. Then you add the boiling water to make the starch. Sometimes if it's too thick, you just add some more water or something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's on that's a job on wash day. And then you have to starch all the shirts and things that you want starched.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you take it off the line, it's dry, and you got to sprinkle it. Put it in this basket, roll it up, so it get all moist through. Let it set overnight, and then you iron them.
Okay. If one of the children were sick, and would you still do your daily chores, or would you stay with them?
Now what?
If one of your children were sick, did you still do your daily chores?
Did I do it?
Yeah. Or did you stay with the child?
Well, it all depends on how sick you were, I guess. My kids really weren't too sick. How am I going to tell that? I don't think I've heard. Huh. One time, it seemed like one of the kids fell and hurt their head. The guy. I took it to the hospital. I'd sort of forgotten about that. Anyway, turned out all right. He had, concussion. A slight concussion. Turned out all right.
That's good. What was your kitchen like? Can you describe the kitchen?
Well, when I was married, I lived here.
Uh-huh.
I lived here 50, 60 years.
How about when you were younger with your mom and...
Well, we had a kitchen stove with my mom.
Yeah.
Well, they had a kitchen stove. We always had to carry in wood to keep the stove going, especially in the wintertime. Last time, in the summertime, they had an oil stove to burn oil to cook with stuff when it was hot weather. Oh. Anyway.
Is there anything else you can remember? Just tell me anything about chores back then.
Well, I told you about starching the clothes on wash day.
Uh-huh.
And dapping it. And ironing. And who's your teacher?
Mrs. Titoff? Rosalie?
She's gonna laugh at me.
No. How would you clean the eggs?
Well, if you had nice clean nests and stuff, the eggs usually are always clean. But sometimes they'd break an egg and they'd get on the other eggs before you gather them. And then you'd have to put them in water, clean it all off. I hated that.
Yeah.
That's not on now, huh?
No, it's still on. You can go. Don't worry.
Well, anyway, I did like to do that job. Because these messy eggs, didn't smell very good.
What else did you do when you were younger as a child? What other chores did you have? Anything I missed?
Well, milking the cows.
Okay, can you describe that?
Did you ever milk a cow?
No. No?
I did.
How did you do it?
Well, there's a little trick to it. You grab a hold of these milk tubes. You start squeezing on top, and the milk. I just don't know how to describe it. You know, you start on top, close your fingers,
And go
and
down.
the milk comes out, and you pull up and it comes out.
Did you, as a girl, did you have to clean the barns, or did the boys do that, or
No, that wasn't my job.
no? Did you guys share in chores, like girls, boys?
Yeah, the whole family. It was kind of a family affair.
Can you tell me about cooking? How did you prepare for meals?
Well, in the wintertime, we had the old cook stove. Had a kettle of something on. And put potatoes on. Get them done for supper. Put the meat in the oven. Mashed potatoes. Well, these old cook stoves had what they call a reservoir. You could have hot water at your reservoir. It's fastened onto the stove and automatically keeps us warm all the time. So you have enough water for your dishes or anything you want to do. You have warm water. Do you ever see a picture of a cook stove?
No.
Well, any catalog, old catalog would have pictures of a cook stove. It would be a good thing to look at, even for you. I bet maybe your teacher would
Yeah.
about a cook stove. Some cook stoves had these circles on top and had a poker that would, you could lift it off, lift the lid off, put wood in the stove. Well, I'm really getting old, aren't I? Or getting younger.
No, you're not getting older.
Doing my... Oh. Oh, I guess that's enough.
You don't remember nothing more? Anything I should know?
Don't want to.